Hey, what's up? Yen here, and this is the Kiwi Ears Canta. It is a 1DD plus 2 planar hybrid IEM. Retail price for this is $89 US. Today I'm going to open this, listen to it, measure it, and share my thoughts and opinions with you guys. All right, so let's begin. This was sent to me by Linsol. Okay, so if you guys are interested to get it, please check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. Right, so first, some specifications about this. Okay, so it's a one dynamic driver plus two planar drivers. It doesn't say what's the size of the driver, and sensitivity is 104, impedance is 14 ohms, frequency range is 20 to 20,000 hertz. Okay, let's open up and see what's inside. All right, pretty simple setup. Let's remove all this first. Okay. Okay, looks like we have a carrying case. Okay, so some user guide and a carrying case. So this is a hard shell case, pretty standard, rectangle shape. So over here, there is a mesh pocket. You can put all your accessories in there and your IEM goes there. Very nice and sturdy. PU leather, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it is PU leather. Okay. And cable. So you have stock cable. Stock cable is kind of thin, but it's expected. This is Kiwi ears. Usually this is the cable that usually we get. So it's terminated with a 3.5 headphone jack. And you get your usual Y split, which is somewhere here, and a chin slider. Okay. And of course your ear hooks. Ear hooks are actually quite soft. Softer than usual, and it's a 2-pin connection to the IEM, right? And then you get 3 different types of ear tips. Let's just see what kind of ear tips. So this one is probably your normal bore, and these are stock ear tips. And then the black one should be yep, this is a wider bore, so you'll get more transparency. A little bit wider. I don't understand why it's not significantly wider, but it is just a little bit wider. And the build quality is actually quite similar. Probably this can articulate a little bit more, but that's about it. And then the gray one, let's hope that is... Oh, okay. The 3 of them actually have pretty similar size inner bores. So, yeah. Don't understand the point of that, but still. 3 different sets of ear tips. And you can change out the ear tip and try out the ear tip. I would suggest to try it out, you know. And this is the IEM itself. So inside here is 1 dynamic driver and 2 planar drivers. Faceplate is made of metal that I can feel. It's got some design here with lines. Okay. And on the inner shell is made of resin. Yeah, pretty standard size. This is like a mid size kind of IEM. It's not too big, it's not too small as well. Nozzle is quite angled as well, and the nozzle is built in. It's not metal, it's fully resin. I believe this is 3D printed. Okay, so let's connect this and try to measure it. So I've got my left side here. Okay, that goes in here. Does it have any indication on this IEM to show that it's left? Nope. But I do know that this cable is left, so you know I'm done this long enough to know. But yeah, that's the left side. So now let's go for the right side. Okay, and let's connect this to my coupler. All right. Okay, let's take the left side and put it into my coupler, which is right here. All right, that's good. Now let's head over to the computer. All right, so I'm now in my computer. Let's first calibrate this earphone. So let's play my pink noise. Okay, something's not right. Yep. So let's try to see what's wrong here. Default. Okay. And then I should go to my settings. So for those of you who measures earphone, just make sure that everything is according to your settings. If not, things will go wrong. Okay? Something's not right. So let's try that again. See the connection, front out, mic in. Yeah, pretty standard. Let's try that again. It's probably not calibrated. So let's try that again. Well, I guess the volume level is not too far off. Let's try to increase that a little bit. And let's calibrate that to 85, which is 121 dBFS, which is fine. Okay, so let's measure this. This is the Kiwi ears Canta. Okay, check the levels. And let's start the measurement. And ooh, wow, look at that brilliance there. All right, so let's take the left side out and let's measure the right side to make sure we have channel balance for the left and the right channel, which is the left and the right earphones. All right, so let's go back to the computer and check the levels first. And let's begin. Wow, look at the channel matching. It's almost identical, almost, right? Now let's bring in my Harman target. Okay. And then let's normalize the two measurements so that it's in line with the Harman target. Now this hump here is probably due to the drivers. So there's dynamic driver, there's also planar drivers. So, you know, it might be a crossover that caused this. So anyway, so I have calibrated this. I have normalized this to 1000 hertz. Let's analyze this graph. So for sub bass is about 3 dB above the Harman target. For the mid bass, you're looking at about 4 dB above the Harman target. And for the lower mids, it's about 3 dB above the Harman target. So what I would say here is bass heavy, is low end heavy. This looks pretty much warmish to me in terms of the low end frequencies. Doesn't, well, looks muddy to me as well in terms of the bass, but you know, I've got to listen to it first. But yeah, peanut gain is actually quite harmonish, but it trails off at about at the upper mids here, at about the 2.8k hertz. Okay, it starts to trail off to about 81 dB. So from 93 dB, they trail it off to 80 dB. So it's about 13 dB difference. That's a lot in terms of the drop. So from here, what I can tell is that you got that energy here and that intensity and that engagement in terms of the treble. But once it reaches up to about 3000 hertz here, it starts to drop down, which affects the presence. Okay, so over here in the presence region, okay, this I would say is roughly about 88 dB, a drop from 80 from a drop from 93, so a drop of about 5 dB. So you will feel that the treble is not as forward. It's not as bright. Okay. And it drops further when it comes to the brilliance. So it's not as energetic as well, I would say. Yeah. But then it peaks back up in the brilliance area. So this is where I think they did something to the crossover to make it feel bright and feel airy in terms of the treble. Okay. Right, so that's the graph, or of course, graph doesn't tell you everything. There's also soundstage, imaging, details, resolution, and the list goes on. So I'm gonna listen to this with my own ears, okay, uh, on my phone and on my dongle DAC, and then I'll explain to you or share with you guys my thoughts on this. Okay, so let's listen to it with my usual test song, and then from there I can hear what I see. So that's where I come in, and any reviewer comes in is to share and to help those of you who are on the fence on what earphones to buy. This is where we can measure the earphone at the same time. Share with you guys what we see and what we hear so that you can make an informed decision. Um, yeah. So I think this is the same size. Is that the same size? Yeah. All right. So let's put on the ear tips and then let's do the fit test for these earphones. All right. So I've got the ear tips on. Let's put it in my ear. All right. So one thing I want to point out, these cables, I pointed this out previously. These cables are very thin, very flimsy, and it tangles very easily. Now the fit test is all right. Is it does try that the cable does try to tug the IEM out from my ears. So that is the stock tip, right? So I would suggest to tip roll and find the ear tip that suits you. Okay. So let's listen to my track, which is Vegas El Bantito. And let's see. Okay. So in terms of the resolution, this is very clear. To be honest, the coherence of the drivers is actually very good as well. The rhythm is there. Soundstage is actually quite wide, pretty good soundstage as well. And sound separation is very good. Um, well placed out and well separated sound in terms of all the instruments. The imaging of this is also very precise. Details on this surprisingly, with that much of a bass, the details on this is actually pretty good. Well, I would say it's clear. It's still veiled, but the detail retrieval is still not bad. It's actually pretty good. Resolution wise, good. Yeah. Overall, technical performance for this is, I would say, well worth the $89 in terms of technical performance. Now, tone and timbre for this is a bit warmish. Yeah, it's warm. The body is thick, pretty textured. It's not a very textured type of body, but pretty textured. Bass heavy. Even though the bass is heavy, I feel that the mid bass is kind of fast. Punches really hard, but it trails off pretty fast as well. So a pretty fast mid bass. The rumble on the bass is also pretty extended. The instruments, they're quite forward as well, surprisingly, with such a bass heavy, tuning. In terms of the peanut gain is energetic and engaging as well. So I feel that energy in the gain to the treble. And even though the treble looks dark, it is a little bit dark. The sparkle is there, just about there, but it compensates with the airiness of the treble. So treble, I would say, is a little bit rolled off, but let me pause the song. So treble is a little bit rolled off, but I feel that it's still quite engaging, quite bright. Okay, I wouldn't say it's bright, but it's quite engaging. They compensate it with a bit of airiness to the treble. Not a very natural roll off, I would say, but overall a very good experience when it comes to the treble. Now, overall, when I listen to this, it's fun, it's textured, it's bodied, it's got good energy as well in terms of the treble. It's not sibilant. I can increase the volume. In fact, my volume was quite high when I was listening to this track on this IEM. And it didn't give me any sharpness at all. So, very nice treble tuning as well. And as I increase the volume or at this volume level, I feel the level of bass. I can hear and feel the level of impact. Okay, so very nicely implemented in terms of the bass and the treble together. So you can only do this if you have multi drivers. So you have your dynamic driver that's handling the bass, right? And then you have your planars that is tweaking the mids and the treble. So I believe they have a crossover in here that handles that, and they implement it well. So I mean, you can have all the different drivers and crossovers and whatever not you have in an IEM, but it's how you implement it and how you design it. And I would say they have designed this pretty well. You know, they is very coherent in terms of the different drivers and also the crossover as well. Okay, and the tuning, of course. Yeah, and this is actually pretty suitable for most genre of music. Not so much on classical, but it's a fun tuning. Basically, it's actually fun, but not a very fun kind of tuning. It's actually quite correct. Sounds quite natural as well, but it's a little bit tipping towards more of a warm and fun kind of tuning. So yeah, most genres will fit this. It's very energetic in terms of the treble as well. So songs with a lot of vocals would sound great on this as well. Okay, but yeah, overall, it's a jack of all trades. Basically, it's a very, well, I wouldn't say balanced, but a bit above balanced type of tuning. Okay, $89. Wow, quite impressive. I'm quite impressed with this for $89. Okay, so that's my thoughts and impression of this Kiwi Ears Canta. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.